When the market gets up near all-time highs, the bears come out of the woodwork and start calling for a crash. And I talked about this earlier this year on Courage Pays Better Than Fear Trading about how this recent move in the market really mirrors what happened during Trump's first presidency. And so I want to revisit that today to show you what happened then and if we could be seeing a crash coming here in the next few months. All that and more in today's video.
I wanted to put this video together to show you possibly something that could happen. It looks very similar to what occurred back in 2018 in Trump's first presidency, and whether or not this is something we could potentially be looking at this year, 2025. I talked about this earlier in a previous video. We could see the market had made new all-time highs, and then he announced tariffs, and we had a sell down 20.27%. This looks very similar to what occurred in April, the lows that were made on April 7th. And then you saw the climb out of there. And again, this climb out from 2018 into 2019 looks very similar to what happened from April into May. And it created a similar type of pattern where we made a lower high. And right now, everybody's calling for the bottom to fall out in the market. And you did get a little bit of a retracement where we currently are, right in this space. And there was a little bit of a drawdown, 3.37%. And then what happened from there? It continued to go up and it made new all-time highs in comparison to where it was before it drew down that 20% starting in September. And then after it made that new all-time high, then it corrected again. And we had a drop of 7.65%. And then from there, we pushed back up 11%. We had another little dip, 6.8%. The dip buyers came back in, pushed it up. This time didn't make new all-time highs. Another little dip, 5.51%. And then what happened? This thing crushed higher, right? And so this little last tiny retracement here that was 5.51%, it then ran up 18.79%. Eclipsing the previous all-time highs. Sure, it had two little tiny retracements here, but it had a significant move. And so this looks very similar to me to what is happening right now in the markets. This looks very similar to those April 7th lows. And again, we're right in this area. But if this is in fact a comparison, then we could look for continued pushes higher. But the other reason why I wanted to bring this up is because if we again consider Jem Creson's call of a bigger drop later on this year, what happened after this jump from these lows here to this peak that was 44.32%? We got a major decline. And I'm sure all of you remember what this was. This was COVID, and we had a 35.56% drop. Potentially, this could be a type of path that we follow here in the coming months to the next year, that we continue to grind higher, we continue to push up into all-time highs, and then we get a drop like this. Now, again, we can't predict any type of calamity or crisis occurring in the world, nor do we want that to happen for the sake of our country and for the world. So what I did is I took the bars pattern feature and copied this move and applied it to where we are today, actually taking it from right here in this area, which is similar to where we are, and just laid it out on top of the price action current day to show what potentially we could be looking at. And so again, here we are right here. We had those April lows. We pushed up and we're in that area where we are pulling back just ever so slightly off the geopolitical news, some uncertainty from the Powell presser. But you can see if we follow that type of pattern, we will eventually push up into all-time highs. This overlay has us doing that into August, pulling back into the end of September, pushing up into November, pulling back one last time into December, pushing up one more time, not making an all-time high, drawing down one more time in January, and then blasting off and making new all-time highs, massive all-time highs. And then at that point, that's where that drop would come in. And again, Cresson said it could be anywhere from 30 to 40%, even 50%. He has since provided an update in terms of what his call is. And he said that it's probably going to be a slow grind downwards. And here's the thing to keep in mind is that this drop here would not even be 20%. So if these were the new highs to be made, that would only be 18%. So we'd have to come down even further to get to 30%. So it'd be around 4,600 to hit 30%, which would take us well below the lows that occurred back in April if we were in fact to drop 30%. So if we would take out those lows, then potentially 40% could be on the table, or maybe even 50%. And again, a lot of things would have to align for the bears. You'd have to have some type of crisis, financial crisis, or something geopolitical happening to put pressure on the markets. I wanted to share this comparison to just give an idea of potentially what can happen, because more than likely there is still a bit of bullishness left in the market. But if everything happens according to what Kersan is calling for, maybe we'll push up a few more times, peak out, and then similar to Trump's first presidency, that drop that occurred on COVID, we get something similar. Maybe it's another 20%, 30%, 40%. Do you think that 2018 example applies to today? Let me know your thoughts. I'm interested to hear your discussion about this.
So there you have it, a historical look from Trump's first presidency and what happened after that first dip off tariffs, the run up, and then what happened with COVID. Will we see a similar type situation? Obviously, COVID's not going to occur again, but are we on the verge of something else, some possible event occurring, or is it going to be an exacerbation of this geopolitical conflict that will send us down? Let me know in the comments below your thoughts. Smash that subscribe button, and thank you for your support of Courage Pays Better Than Fear Trading. Make it a great day, everyone.